everyone. Today my group is going to talk about the Vikings Cybercafe, and our presentation is divided into three parts. The introduction part, the body, and the conclusion. And I will talk about the introduction about the brand. That I will talk briefly about the information of Viking Cybercafe. And Viking Cybercafe is well known for all the gamers from Hanoi that is have a high equipment and high-end equipment and have a strong internet connection. Is suitable for gaming event or something that we used to the championship or something. And there are four facilities in Hanoi, in which is Khanh Thiên, Thành Công, Hà Đông, and Nguyễn Tuân. And beside the competitor, along with the game home and side zone gaming, and Viking is known as one of the most popular brand of game home in Hanoi. And the second is about the topic that we will talk about the topic, the audience, the reason why we choose this topic and the aims of this topic. And the research topic is that the youngster playing habits at Viking Cybercafe and why and the reason they choose the Viking. And furthermore, we want to go deeply into why they choose Viking instead of others and staying at home. Research audience that we are focused on is a youngster, a student, university student, or gamers who are working. The one who often go to the Viking, and especially the member of Viking Gaming member group on Facebook.
So for our research topic, the reason we choose is we conclude from these two newspaper articles. For our researcher interest, we have the ease of communication, the brand reputation on the cybercafe market, and our personal interest in the gaming market. And for our convenience, we also have the ease of communication, the close proximity with the brands, and the personal relation with the group admins. Next up, for our research questions, as you can see for the theory here, the research question is the umbrella question that address the topic, and the reason we choose it is our research question have the phrase and word that have our research and to have us access the database like why and Viking Center instead of any other gaming location. The question don't have any information. The question has information about the thing that we want to know, like Viking customer thoughts and behaviors, and it also not too broad and not too narrow either. For the method, we use mixed methods, and for our reason, the methods provide strength that offsets both the weakness of qualitative and quantitative method. Like quantitative is weak in understanding the context or setting in which Viking customer behave and thought, while qualitative research make up for it. Also, it provide a more complete and comprehensive understanding of the research problem that we address. Finally, it provides an approach for developing much better, more specific instrument. And that concludes my part.
So I'm gonna talk about the survey part. With the purpose of the survey, we are find our audience interest, what they like and what the need of them, and the reason why they choose to play as Viking Cyber. And we designed those this question, and we collected 58 response, and the detail about the response will be in the later of the presentation. About the interview part, we designed 6 interview questions to do it online, and we choose people who are in the Vikings Cybercafe Facebook group, and we just randomly we interview them and collect the response. And with the interview, we find more about the audience, emotionally about the brand and what they feel and what they like about the brand.
After doing all the research and the survey and the interview that we have, so some conclusion. First, talking about the survey, that we throughout this survey we have we have known about the general demographic of our audience, that they are students and they go net with friends. They go afternoon or night, mostly on afternoon or night time, and then they go more than 2 times a week, and the interest in the infrastructure of Viking Games Center, that they decided whether to go or not by the east location. And after doing the survey, we conduct an interview with 5 people randomly as has talked that the 5 people belongs to the Viking group Facebook group, and we have some highlighted comment that the name Viking sound pretty cool, and I have no compliment on Viking instead of the lack of this, and to be honest, the food in Viking Cyber Center is too delicious. So we have some, well, I call it a minor conclusion, that the demographic of our audience from the survey is appropriate, and the prices is not the main factor, because mostly from the survey that mostly people on the group is student, and but we have a brain problem that gamers are unaware about the information that whether the Viking Center is lack of seat or not. So we have the three truths about brand, audience, and category. That the brand truth is the brand name is interesting. The audience truth is is good. It has good infrastructure, but the category truth is a convenient location. So after all of this survey and interview, we have a customer journey from the start, the first impression to the decision to go to Viking Cyber Center. That is, gamers are firstly impressed by the brand names. Vikings are cool, and then they knows about the reputation of the infrastructure of Viking Game Center, and they decided to go to Viking because of the nearest location. And however, they will give up their decision when the center is lack of seat.
So with our research information that we have gathered from our audiences, and we have came up with the final conclusions. Now and finally, we have come to our drawbacks and improvements. Firstly, before I want to go to the drawbacks and improvement, I just want to say that all of these information from the audience are safe, and they only shared for our purposes and for the Vikings admins only. So the first drawbacks from our research is that the surveys, we did miss an options where 14% of the people are choosing to go alone, but we didn't put the option there instead. Hidden locations are more popular among gamers because they are more invested in infrastructures. Therefore, mostly people choose to go there, and then the behavior of the audience are in conflicts, therefore screwing the data. Next is the multiple choices is required in some of our questionnaires. the conflict, and last but not least is the conflict results between the survey and the interviews on the frequency of how people are going to cyber gaming, the cyber cafes. Lastly is the interviews, which we pick random people in the Vikings group, and most of them are not from the students group, which is the majorities of the audience in Vikings. Therefore, we cannot focus on what the student think of Viking is and how we can improve the services of Vikings. Also, we should mix. Most of our interview is in online interview. So we should have mixed the online interview instead, because of the lack of closeness in the online interviews. The face-to-face emotion is much more details of answers, and we can compare between playing on normal interview. We can compare the normal day and weekday interviews. Therefore, we can find the patterns of the audience come to Vikings. Last but not least, we should invest more time in the interviews, because in our plans we have we can interview with the admins of the Viking groups. And this is the end of our presentations.